Welcome back, everybody, to the Aaron's High Cap Adventure Radio program. It's June 17th, 2017. We got about 22 minutes left in the program. Now, I'm very excited to have with us our new sponsor, Lisa Roden, with Twin Pistol Bail Bonds, and she is sitting to the left of me right now as I speak. Lisa, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Matt.
How you been?
I've been doing good. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I hear you were pretty busy this morning before you even got here.
Yeah, I love it. That's the way we're supposed to roll.
Getting people out of jail, huh?
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, now this, Lisa, not everybody knows who you are. Almost everybody does, but that small 2% who don't know who you are, let's give you a short bio of who you are, what you do, and how long you've been doing it, so on and so forth, so we can get up to speed here.
Well, my name is Lisa Roden. We run Twin Pistol Bail Bonds and also have another bail bond company. Also, I'm an insurance agent, and we stay busy constantly. Our main goal is to try to get people out of jail as fast as we can, because the jail can get crowded pretty quick. And so if you need a bail bondsman, you can give us a call, and we'll sure enough give you a chance to see if we can help you.
I got an initial question right off the bat. You know, when you talk about getting people out of jail as quick as you can, well, let's say we got some really nasty people in there. We can't take away their rights.
No, you can't.
So we have to wait and go through the process, but you're gonna expedite those rights as quickly as you can through your expert bondsmanship, right?
Yes, we try to. I mean, it depends on the person themselves and the co-signer. I mean, it all depends on getting everything together. I mean, first of all, you have to have a co-signer, which they have to be able to have a job to pay for the bond. If the bond's $10,000, that person that's going to be a co-signer would have to be worth at least double that amount, $20,000, in case that person jump bond. So you've got a lot of steps you have to look at before you can. I mean, it's not a 5-minute process.
Mm-hmm.
It might take you a day. It might take you 4 hours to do. It just depends on who the person is, what their crime rate was, if they've been in trouble in the past. I mean, there's just a lot of different things to look at. But if it's just like the first offense and we get a co-signer, a $2,000 bond, parent comes in, pays the bond, show us that they work, have a valid driver's license, it usually takes anywhere from 15 minutes to 4 hours, I suppose.
Okay, let's make sure we're in the mic here. Now, at least let's back it up a little bit. Tell me, we had this discussion in the office, and I found it very interesting because I'm a businessman, and I'm always interested to see how people get involved with things, and just so people can get to know you and see how your mind works, unless you don't want people to know.
That might be scary.
How did you get involved, or how did you become a bondsman? And since you're a woman, why don't we call it a bondsman? Why don't we call it a bondsperson, if you want to be politically correct?
Well, I really don't know. I've often wondered that myself, but that's just how the system works. It's called a bail bondsman, and I guess woman has man in it, so I guess that works all the same.
Well, wait a minute. Now, first of all, how long have you been in the business?
11 years.
Okay, and tell me the process of the evolution of how you got involved with this.
Well, one day we purchased this land in Cameron across from where the sheriff's department was being purchased to build our insurance office. And my father-in-law came down and mother-in-law from Sweetwater, and we showed them the property and everything, and there was a little building on it. And our father-in-law said, what are y'all going to do with that building? And I said, I'm not really sure. He goes, that's a jailhouse being built, correct? And I said, yes, sir. He goes, well, open up a bail bonds company. He said, I have a friend that got filthy rich doing it. I thought, ooh, this sounds cool. Started checking into it. Haven't got filthy rich, that's for sure, but it has been fun. I've met lots and lots of fun people, nice people, and I've been treated with great respect, so I have no problem doing what I do.
Okay, so you have no problem doing what you do. Let's talk about what you do, and we're going to expand upon this. I'm going to get into the cracks. You've been talking. Like I always use an analogy, like there's a sidewalk, and every flat piece of concrete is basic information. I'm the one who's always looking in the cracks. Okay. That's where all the good stuff is. Okay, it's like sucking that bone marrow out of that bone. That's where all the nutrients
that's really good.
Okay? So, what does a bondsman do? Give us the whole process. Be very thorough, and explain it to us.
Well, a bondsman is the surety on the person that's the inmate, which you would call them, or some people call them criminal. No, I don't look at everybody being a criminal myself. But What it is, the process is someone's in jail for doing a crime, and we have to go ahead. They need to get released to be out in public, because otherwise, if you left everybody in jail, your jail's going to fill up, and there's not going to be any place to put another criminal at. So what we do is the process is we try to get them out. It's called a surety bond. Basically, it's like going to Las Vegas and gambling. You're taking a chance that this person's going to take care of business, which most of them pretty much do. And
okay, wait, let's back up for a second. You said something which makes total sense, but I never thought about it this way. If you never, this has nothing to do with constitutionality. This just has to do with, oh, that's interesting. If you arrest everybody in the sense who's going to be arrested, you're not going to have enough room. You got to get them out. So based on what they did determines the amount of the bond.
That's correct.
So if it's like a real heinous thing or whatever, sometimes I guess that's not given. But if it's just typical stuff, they'll put the bond at a certain price so that person can get out and get the next batch in.
That's correct. That's correct.
Crime is good, I guess. Okay, so all right, so keep going on.
So anyway, we hold the surety on this person until they complete court. There's a process. You bond them out. Then they're either indicted or not indicted. They get a court letter. They have to go to court. And once they complete court, then we're done with them. But for instance, if somebody doesn't go to court, well, the county is going to go after the bail bondsman because we posted the bond saying they're going to be there.
When you say don't go to court, you mean they just deliberately said, screw that, I'm not going?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, they can do that. I mean, there's a lot of people that think, oh, well, I don't have to go. It's no big deal. And they don't. Well, it comes back to haunt us because then we can be charged for anywhere from, they charge us by percentage day per day, but it can go all the way up to if it's a $1,500 bond, they could sue us for $1,500 plus. So on a $1,500 bond, we charge 10% on a Mullen County charge. So we'd get plus $20 filing fee.
I don't understand something though. I'm probably just not getting this. The person who's in jail is posting a bond because in hopes that they're not going to want to lose their money. They're going to show back up and go through the process. What does the jail lose on this? Why do they sue you other than saying, you lost our guy?
It's not the jail that sues us. It's the county. Because what happens is the funds go into, there's road funds, there's different funds that money goes into. So it helps the county out. But it has nothing to do, the roads and all that has nothing to do with the person in the jail. So it's just a matter of like, you want to play this game, there's a price to it. Right. Basically, yeah.
Every game's got a price. Mm-hmm. Okay, so keep going.
So anyway, on Mullen County charges, we charge 10% plus the $20 filing fee, which has to be done. And so you said figure on a $1,500 bond, we get $170. If they don't go to court, I could be liable up to $1,500.
So it behooves you to be sure that,
yes.
So what's your...
That's why you have to have a cosigner. We always, Dustin, don't we require 21 and over, or is it 18 and over?
Hold on. Before you answer that question, introduce yourself there. My apologies. Say hi to everybody. Tell them who you are and what you're doing here.
I'm Dustin Thomas. I work with Lisa. She's my mother. And I've been doing it, about 4 years? Mm-hmm. 4 years, and still have a little bit to learn, but she's teaching me right. And let's go back to where we were.
We were talking about
how the age.
Oh yes. So usually we require 21 and up, just because 18 you're able to do certain things. I mean, you can join the military at 18. I mean, buy tobacco products, but a lot of the times an 18-year-old is not as responsible as they should be, and so we do. I like to require 21 and up. Because they're going to care a little bit more. They're going to care a little bit more.
That's what the cosigner.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about as a cosigner here. I'm sorry. So I'm just trying to think the best way to explain. I mean, they have to have a job. I mean, obviously, we're not just going to get somebody out.
Wouldn't it be safe to say though that they got arrested, they lost their job?
Well, no, we're talking about the cosigner.
Okay.
So we want the cosigner to have a job. To be somewhat stable in their life, just in case the criminal that we got out of jail was to jump bond, we want them to be able to pay that. We want them to be able to pay us back. You know, if you get an 18-year-old kid, you know, just fresh out of high school, you know,
working at Sonic,
might work might make $7 an hour, $7.25. I'm sorry. They're not gonna care about paying that $1,500 back because they're not gonna have the money to. They have other things in life that
So you got a pretty much a set checklist of what to look for when it comes to getting people. Okay,
it all comes down to talking to the person.
Lisa, when I was in your office, we mentioned this, and I'm not a constitutional scholar by no means, but off the top of our heads, where does the bail bond come in constitutionally wise? Because everybody has. Do we know this? This. If somebody knows that, let me know.
I really don't know that.
I know it has something to do where, you know, you can't be arrested or. I don't know. We'll skip this. It's an interesting question. I want to find it out too.
I'll look into that.
Can anybody be a bail bondsman?
Well, I guess you could. Well, it depends.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm too
really.
stupid to get arrested because I don't know the first thing about this. I'd be in jail for I don't know how many years. I mean, like, who do I call? What do I do? But
you would be surprised. There's a lot of people that's never dealt with it, and they're like, I don't know what to do. Where do I even begin to start? But yes, really and truly, to be a bail bondsman, there is requirements. A lot of requirements because, first of all, you have to get approved by the sheriff. He's the main one that does the approving, and it requires a lot of paperwork. It requires a lot of paperwork, and, you know, if you don't have the funds or the money or property to back you, then you really couldn't be a bail bondsman because you're taking on such a high risk.
What she's trying to say there, just to clarify a little bit, is you have to have collateral in a sense. You got all this. You say you get sued for $100,000. Just throwing out a number out there. And if you don't have that in your account, you're going to have to pay that back to the county in some way, which would be by land, if you put up land for the collateral to start your bonding company, or however that may be, because you can't just start one up and say, okay.
Well, I can see why that's important because you're dealing with a lot of people's money. You're dealing with your money.
Yes,
people
sir.
are putting bonds in, the county's money. It doesn't get paid or whatever, so you've got to show your credibility. So that's another good thing. When people are looking at you, they can say, well, I know you got to jump through hoops before you can become a bondsman.
Right.
And hopefully those hoops are good, tight hoops and are beneficial to all those who participate in it, and that you're a good bail bondsman. What can make a bad bail bondsman?
Not being professional. And that's one thing I have to pride ourselves in is I think we're very professional. We treat our people with respect. Like, I treat my people how I want to be treated. So, I mean, they're not guilty until they're found guilty. And you can't judge a person until they go before the judge.
Well,
that's
right.
my way of thinking.
Make mistakes. I mean, there's been plenty of good people, you know, just been on the wrong side for once and turn their life around. I mean, you just can't judge somebody you can get thrown in jail for driving without a license.
That's what Mr. Dixon said a while ago on the radio station. He said, nobody has ever been perfect in a vehicle. Everybody has made a mistake. You might not admit it, but it does happen.
There seems to be more that you can get arrested for than there's not to be arrested
Well,
for.
back in the day when I was young, you didn't get arrested near like you do now. I mean, back in the day, it was like, okay, well,
they call everybody's an agent of the court. You got law enforcement agent of the court, attorney agent of the court, and all this kind of agent of the court. Agent, what's an agent? Is it a sales rep? I don't know. It seems like money, fees, fines, everything. It's all in there to pay the system. But that's me talking negatively. Let's talk about, can you go to other counties and place bonds?
No, we can't. We're a no-board county, which means that we have to stay in Milam County only. Now, if someone is in Milam County jail on an out-of-county charge, we can get them out.
We need more clarification on what you mean by certain requirements for this county's not.
Okay, a board county has to have, it is a county that has a population of 110,000 plus.
Okay.
Milam County is not close to that. So what the PBT, which is Professional Bail Bonds Association, calls small counties like us. When you go to a meeting, they'll say, "Oh, you're that way out west county, right?" Yeah, I guess so. But that's basically, instead of a board, which consists of a sheriff, DA, assistant DA, several lawyers, some county commissioners, they look at the board, where we go through the sheriff, and if he sees that we're doing something wrong, he'll pop us on the hand and say, no, you can't do that. But that's hardly ever done because I respect everything they tell us to do. And that's just part of it. I'm not going to do anything illegal.
You're such a good person, Lisa.
Nah, I can't say that. You really don't know me.
So do you ever think we'll become a board county?
I hope not. And I don't think so, because it would really, it's putting a lot more pressure on people. I mean, it would give all the county officials more work.
Yeah, that would not just be for the bondsman. You know, it wouldn't just put more pressure on us. It would put more pressure on the county officials, because that's more time they're going to have to put in. Because it's an actual board, board of directors, and that, they have to convene meetings and
once a week.
Once a week, yeah. I mean, it's more for the county officials to do, and I've never been in a board county. I don't know exactly how they work, but it wouldn't seem viable for this county at this time, unless we grow a lot. I mean, you never know.
I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, God forbid if you or a family member ever gets in a situation like this, you need to know people who are competent in what they do. Okay, Lisa's been doing this for 11 years now, and they seem to have this down pretty pat. They know what they're doing. They've got all the connections in the sense of being able to communicate, and the people that communicate have respect for them. It goes both ways, so these are great people to deal with. But now we're clocking down here. I'll tell you what, Trey, I want a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to finish this up here. We're going to regather our thoughts here, because I want to make sure we get all the important facts out before the end of the show. So let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll finish it up. Welcome back, everybody, to the Aaron's High Cap Adventure Radio program. We've got about 5 minutes left here, and we're going to finish up. And my special guest is Lisa Roden and Dustin Thomas with Twin Pistol Bail Bonds. And we've been learning a lot. I know I have. And the main thing I learned is I'm not going to jail if I can keep out.
Oh, come on, man. We might give you a pass.
I hear the food isn't that good, So, but anyway, I tell you what.
Be sure and taste your salt and pepper.
Lisa, I want to ask you a question. And Dustin, I want you to hit up on the comment you just made on the break here. Tell me about the people you deal with and the relationships you build up with them.
Well, I have to say I have very good relationships with pretty much everybody I've ever bonded out. I mean, as of today, I bonded a young man out 11 years ago, and he calls me every Christmas and just says, "Hey, Miss Lisa, I bet you don't know who this is." And I'll say, "I bet you I do, honey." And he'll say, "Just calling to wish you a Merry Christmas." I have people like that all the time. I can be in the grocery store. I can be in Walmart. People hollering, "Hey, Mama, what you doing, Mama?" or this and that. And people bring in drinks, or
I'll bet you if you're in a what did you call it? A county that is a board county. I bet you don't get that personal relationship.
I bet you don't either. I wouldn't think
big.
so.
You become a number.
Exactly. And I can pretty much know everybody when they call me to check in every Monday. I know who they are.
That's awesome.
Mean, it's not, "Oh, let me see, I bonded." No, I mean, it's like, "Oh, okay, Aaron or Matt, how are you doing? What's going on? How's the baby today?" You can
actually put a face to the name.
Yeah,
They're not just a number.
We get a little personal
I have no baby,
with them.
by the way. Okay. All right, let's go. We're running out of time here. Tell me, Dustin, what were you mentioning on the break? And tell me what you're mentioning, and then explain.
So, how it works is, what we're here for is to let you be released from jail until your court date. And then, who's to say you committed a crime and this is your third or fourth offense, and then you might get sentenced to jail, once you go to court. But
we give you that time to get out.
It's a time so you could sit in that jail for that 4 months, and you could get some time served towards your sentence. Or, it's not guaranteed that you're going to get jail time every time you go to court, A lot of times it's more probation or fines and stuff like that. But instead of making them sit in that jail system for 3 to 4 months, we give them an opportunity to get out and get their jobs, provide for their families, so that when they do go to court, they can go to the judge, or they can go to whomever they need to talk to their attorney and say, "Hey, I'm trying here. I've got a job. I've gone to rehab."
And they couldn't have that opportunity if they didn't have the time out.
No, sir. Oh. If they were in jail, they would be sitting there with their
based on the crime,
3 hots and a cot, yeah,
that kind of stuff. And what is a bond? If it's $100,000 bond, that means they got to put up 10%.
10% plus the $20 money.
Well, so that's $10,020.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
And 17 cents.
Yeah, and throw that cents in there.
Okay, now let's finish it up with this. Dustin and Lisa, tell everybody how they can get a hold of you. If you got websites, phones, whatever. So if they got troubles, they can give you guys a call.
You can give us a call at at the number listed 697-6035 or 254, and then 254-697-6000. We're located right across the street off of 36 from the jailhouse in a big green and white building you can't miss.
That's the other thing too. They can come into your office. You don't have to do it in a car or something, right?
Oh no, we handle all our business inside the office, and then we'll take the bond to the jailhouse, and then they come back to our office.
Because I can only assume it's embarrassing. And
Probably.
So getting in the privacy of your office, where you say
everything's done in private, and whenever our clients come back, they have their own time. It's all private.
30 seconds.
Very good. 30 seconds. Okay, I got 30 seconds. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a pleasure, Lisa and Dustin, for coming on the show. Give them a call. And until next week, everybody, God bless and keep your powder dry.
I wouldn't